It was about the ripples that reside in the wrinkles of silence. Just the blink of someone's eye touching the surface of the lake, which stands in imitation of the sky, distorts the world slightly. But without anyone noticing, the orderly order was rightly disrupted. The ripples were like an aesthetic, masked by arrogant humility. It was a drop of sunlight hiding in the shadows of the reeds that whispered, "Only in meaninglessness does meaning sleep." It knows then that over-assertion peels away too much of the skin of truth. Background is always reserved, pretending to cede to the center, when in fact it dominates the whole story. It is a skilled craftsman of the language of silence, with an embroidery of irony in its name. There is nothing more dangerous than rightness that someone speaks of, nothing more profound than ignorance that someone is silent about. In this way, the ripples in the background spoke by not speaking, reflected by not reflecting, and kept shaking the contours of formless ideas in secret. It was as if something was hoping to remain unnoticed forever. Silence is the secret skin of the world. The ripples of contemplation lightly, sometimes awkwardly, trace over it. The arrogant wave deludes itself into thinking that it is the main melody. But the real music is the breath of emptiness hidden between the sounds, an unspoken humility. Without introducing themselves, they complement the world by simply being. Irony is their language, a spiral of aesthetics deliberately bent by those who cannot speak the truth straight. Those who shouted, "Knowledge is power," may have actually been following the power of ignorance. At that time, the world just pretended to nod and did not even blink. Maybe all those things are a joke, all true. As if this world smiles with a straight face. Humble and ironic, existence is gently swaying today, embracing the irony of being. The humility within decorates life as an attitude of quiet acceptance of its own limitations and fragility. In the background, however, irony gently challenges conventional wisdom with innocent laughter. The passage of time, like the dew of night that gently drips, disappears and reappears. The subtle tension stirring in the silence spins an eternal dialogue as ripples on the surface of quiet water. At the intersection of the emptiness and the reality of existence, of humility and irony, we are fascinated by the inexplicability of the situation. A humble heart is compassionate toward its own imperfection, and at the same time, in the free satire carried by the wind of irony, the silence of dusk envelops the area, and the days gone by and the future to come blend together in a single moment. In this touch of light and shadow, the ripples of one's own inner self quietly appear in the midst of this passing. Even though it is cold, a soft modesty dwells in it, and a subtle irony, a solemn betrayal, floats in the air like a thin mist. As if the earth were delicately drenched with a pale dewdrop, one's own existence flutters in resonance with myriad questions. In a meditative moment of wandering in the forest, the whispers of nature and the wind's words weave an eternal melody, sometimes with sharp irony and sometimes with graceful compassion. Dancing secretly under the starlight, like a lotus flower, it fades away, leaving behind a fleeting radiance. There, a small door to the truth that transcends the framework of everyday life certainly exists. Looking up at the night sky, a faint ironic smile appears. At that moment when the dialogue between inner darkness and light begins, we realize our vulnerability and at the same time our unfathomable potential. The meaning of existence does not necessarily demand a clear-cut answer, but rather is hidden in that fleeting moment when questions and praise intersect. In this fragile harmony, we are invited to accept ourselves and to become aware of new questions. The quiet ripples that permeate the heart are like the breath of a deep forest. Instead of pursuing perfection, we find beauty in the transience of each moment and the joy of walking with unanswered questions. Even if the road ahead is shrouded in fog, its minute ripples are surely etched here and now. The self-evaluation, like a stone sinking to the bottom of the water, and the serene posture of the artist, seem to be a careful consideration not to disturb the harmony of the world. He does not speak of himself, but leaves his achievements to the wind, becoming a shadow to enhance the light. This is the appearance of modesty refined as a virtue. But who knows how the polished mirror surface may sometimes show a distorted image? Excessive condescension is a manifestation of inverted pride. Behind the common phrase, "I am what I am," a calculating narcissism sticks out its tongue. The quietly drawn line is a wall that refuses the intrusion of others, and its passivity may in fact be the most sophisticated form of aggression.